I'm Myke Shrews,
And I'm Tivis,
and you're listening to
the Munster Cast.
episode 83. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to the Munster Cast, the podcast where we watch and talk about the Munsters. I'm, of course, your host, Myke Shrews, here with my co-host and friend Tivis. So, Tivis, please tell the people in the Munsterverse how you been, dude.
I've been good. I got caught up on the last 3 episodes of Bad Batch last night, so I'm in a good mood.
Awesome. I'm just tired. I didn't sleep last night. I didn't. I just kept waking up every 10 minutes, and that is worse than waking up every hour. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's not even like a 10-minute power nap, and I'm annoyed.
Yeah, that was the reason I was late to our recording this morning. Is I didn't get up when I should have, and I fell back asleep for about 15 minutes.
Oh, fun times. Anyways, guys, let's get down into the dirty business here real quick. Oh, there we go. You can find the Munster Cast on all social media platforms. That is Facebook, Instagram, and sometimes Twitter. I do think the robot is still posting over there, guys. You can also swing on over to youtube.com.
Myke.
Uh-oh.
Let's not piss off our future overlords. They're an intern, okay?
You can also swing on over to youtube.com/@TheMunsterCast. Over there, you get to see our pretty ugly faces every Munster Monday, along with extra content that we do post every so often, guys. Yeah. And then you can also swing on over to the awesome www.themunstercast.com. Over there, you get to check out all of our content that is audio, video, vlogs, blogs, articles. If you're into the Munsters Today, which is the show we are talking about currently, there's actually a Munsters Today tab over there, mainly because there's not really a whole lot of Munsters Today stuff on the internet, so we are posting screenshots from the episodes, and there's a little like biography, I think, of it on there as well. So swing on over there, and then if you want to, on the right hand side of the screen, there should be a little microphone icon. Oh, and you can click that and leave us a voice message, guys. That's probably one of the quickest ways to get your vocal, like actually onto the podcast. If you ever want, leave us a voice message and we'll play it back onto the episodes here. You can also do the same thing on our social medias as well, because I know a lot of those offer voice recordings now as well too, in messages and stuff. Guys, if you also want one of these awesome shirts that I am wearing, among many others that we do have on our site, you can also click onto the store tab on the MunsterCast.com, or just swing on over to the MunsterCast.com/merch. That's MERCH. And then you can find all of our swag and stuff there that is for sale at the moment. More things are to come. It's just been taking me a little longer with new jobs and stuff like that, and vacations and all these other random things that have been going
Life
on.
changes.
Yeah. So definitely look out for new stuff, but also grab some of the older stuff, because it will only be a matter of time till we decide to take some of the designs down. So definitely check those out, guys. You can always reach out to us through social media, but there's always, if you are not on social media, email, which is TheMunsterCast@outlook.com. That is TheMunsterCast@outlook.com, guys. There you can email us anything, questions, concerns, reviews on our show if you want to let us know firsthand. All that fun stuff, guys. And definitely take the time to tell us about your Munster fandom over there as well. We love reading about it. Whether or not you want us to share it on the podcast or not, just let us know. And we will be in constant contact with you through there as well. But there's also other ways to be in constant contact. So, Tivis, how are those?
We have a Patreon, which is basically just a tip jar. You know, you got $1, you're not gonna miss it. You can throw it our way. It really helps. Podcasting not cheap. Said it 1,000 times. Anyone who doesn't say that is a liar. just just so you know, support people that you like. That doesn't necessarily mean us, but we do appreciate the people who do. Also, if you join our Patreon, you get access to our Discord, where you can talk directly to us about the episodes or whatever. You want to know about the giant Galactus behind me? Ask away. I'll tell you how I waste my money. And then we also offer on the Discord the ability to watch along with us. That is a bonus, not an incentive. It's the only way we have found to release this without Universal getting upset with us until they decide to release a version themselves for home release.
Yeah.
And I truly hope that they are working on it, and it really helps for all of you. Once again, sidebar away from the show, not about us. This is about the Munsters. If you were to message Universal in the nicest possible way and ask them to release the stuff we do not have, mini Munsters, Munsters Today, the Mockingbird Lane pilot, if you want to watch that, all this stuff that's just vanished from the zeitgeist that fans are basically keeping alive in archives spread across the internet. Let's get this stuff going. Let's get it out there. Let's get people enjoying it. And hopefully we can raise enough attention to the show to get a new Munsters. That would be awesome.
A new show or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's animated, I would still love them to just do an
Oh, yeah.
animated show again. You know, it would make sense in this day and age to do like, I don't know if like a Teen Titans style, like Teen Titans Go style, but maybe
I would prefer
more.
better animation.
Yeah, I'm thinking like it would be interesting to see it in like an anime style almost.
Yeah. I mean,
It would depend.
then I'm not a fan. Again, I've said this before. I'm not a fan of Adam's Family, but the new
The new movie.
animated version of those, yeah, the ones based on the original comics. That's
Mhm.
I would settle for something like that even.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would love anything. I mean, for Pete's sake, we're getting a freaking comic book about the General Mills guys, the cereal, like
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
count.
That
Was it?
came out last year.
Yeah. So I mean, they have that out. Why the hell not have a
Mhm.
Munsters cartoon at the very least, a cartoon, something you
If
can pop like 6, 7 episodes out every few months.
heck, let's get a comic going. We've had Monsters comics before. We plan on reading them eventually.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
let's get some more of that. And by the way, and if that General Mills stuff interests you, it's called Serial from uh, Yo Comics, like the
Is it
pirate
your
kind of
comics?
Yo.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So anyway, little sidebar from our show, just talking about the monsters in general. Back to our show now.
I mean, that
Uh,
is our show is talking about the Munsters,
I
though.
know, but I really, I, I want people to understand I am passionate about the content, not just what we're doing, keeping
Right.
us going. I want
Right.
to
It's
see
the
monsters
franchise.
elevated. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, eventually, there's going to be a time and day where we are not doing the show anymore,
No,
whether it's because of personal life things or there's just no more content to talk about.
we
So
run out of things to talk about.
yeah, so eventually that will happen. Hey, by the way, do you like my chair that's back here? It has a uh
Deer.
it has a Miles Morales pillow and a Spider-Gwen pillow on it.
Oh, it looks like a deer from over here, like
Yeah,
antlers.
Spider-Gwen. This is the chair I
Nice.
sit on, guys, when I want to just be alone in my office and just chill and not be in front of the computer. I sit here next to all my toys and movies, and then I'll read the comic book. like a giant nerd. Anyways, little image there for people
I
who
just
aren't watching.
reorganized my shelf over there that's off camera with my hard books. We really need to go to IKEA, but that is not
Yeah.
important to this show.
All right. Well, it always could be. What else can they do besides going on to the Patreon, my man?
Well, leaving us a review, commenting, uh, thumbs up, stars, boosts us in the charts for Apple and all the other places,
Mm-hmm.
gets more ears on us, comments and likes on YouTube, gets more eyes on us, stuff like that helps grow the show, helps grow the fandom in just I can't tell you how many people have been fans of the Munsters for years who have been dying for anything about it and wanting someone to talk about it with, uh, that have found us,
Yeah.
especially on YouTube. Uh, it's fantastic, and we've met some wonderful people because of it. Nice guy, uh,
Mm-hmm.
dude, you are amazing. Just flat out, you are amazing. Uh, but yeah, all that stuff boosts our show. This is just to us now. That helps us,
Yeah.
and we hope in the long run it will help Munsters in general.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is more selfish for us, you know. Uh,
I mean, it helps everybody in the Munsters community, to be honest, not just us. So,
yeah. And speaking of the community, I didn't make anything for these, but I did look up some conventions that are coming up
mhm.
for people in the Munsters. Um, let's see. First up, we got. Uh, where am I? What am I doing?
What
Okay,
are you doing?
I'm trying
I
to
think
organize this. Okay, so Butch Patrick will be at Chiller Theater is scheduled to be. Things come up. He might
yeah.
not be able to show, but as of right now, Chiller Theater Expo on April 26th in Paris, Penny. Where is that at? New Jersey. Okay. Uh, he's scheduled to be there. It is a multi-fandom event, so it's not themed, but if you want to see him, we also have
Is it
coming up.
Parsippany?
Yeah, probably.
That's in New Jersey then.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said California.
No, I said New Jersey.
Swear you said California.
Nah, I said play back the audio.
We're gonna play that back later. I'm
Alright.
right after we're done recording. I'm pulling that back up. All right.
And then Jeff Daniel Phillips will be in Rotherham, England on May 11th
Mhm.
for HorrorCon UK. Obviously horror themed con. And then of course, nice Monster Bash in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in July.
Dun,
That was
dun,
in June.
dun.
Gonna have to double check that one.
Mhm. Okay.
But that Daniel Roebuck will be there. Obviously, we've talked about this one before. We did the whole thing last year leading up to it. Really nice guy. Can't both him and Jeff, and you met Butch.
Yeah.
So between the two of us, we've met all three of these people, and they are the nicest people on the planet.
And Monster Bash is July.
Is it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
July 19th.
Yeah, 19th to the 21st.
Yep. So if you're going to be in the area, go out, see them, have a conversation with them because they're talkers. They're great. I talked Jeff's ear off all day with the day I met him. And tell him we said hi as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man. Definitely. For those that are watching the video feed, I am wearing the MJF scarf because I'm just that cool. Get it?
You know, he'd knock your hat off and call you a little bitch, right?
Get it? Cool scarf.
For those
It's
who don't know, MJF is a wrestler for All Elite Wrestling, and he is the best bad guy in the industry possibly ever. He does
oh
not break character, and it's
yeah,
amazing.
easily. I mean, when he showed up on an episode of Impractical
Practical
Jokers,
Jokers.
yeah,
Mhm.
he was like, yeah, it was perfect. Yeah, he's great. He's great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I hope to see a lot more of him in the future,
Mhm.
man.
Well,
Anyways,
he's
guys,
supposedly breaking into movies, so we might.
oh, that's cool. You guys can also go over to themunstercast.com/sticker meal 10, get a 10% or not a 10%, a $10 credit onto your order if you go over there and go directly to that link. It is an affiliate link, so we do get a kickback of an additional $10 into our account. It's not cash, but a credit as well for us. So definitely check that out, guys. They offer awesome stickers, buttons, whatever the heck you want over there. They offer it, and they've been doing it for years now, and are pretty solid company to work with. All right,
Mhm.
so what are we talking about today, Tivis?
Today we are talking about It's a Wonderful Afterlife.
Oh, oh no! Why did it say life? Oh no!
What have
Here
you
we go.
done, Mike?
I fudged it.
We're not
There we
talking
go.
about the movie, Mike.
Yeah, I know. There we go. It's a wonderful afterlife. Now it's spelled right.
So, season 2, episode 6, or 101 of Munsters Overall, aired Saturday, November 11th, 1989.
Dun dun dun.
Written by Michael Davidoff.
No,
Uh,
by me, Myke Shrews.
if that name sounds familiar, that's because this is the second episode we're watched that he wrote. What was wrong with me? The last time we saw him was the Not So Great Escape. Directed by Bruce Bilson, which is a brand new name. This is the first and only episode of Munsters Today that he directed. His first directing credit was for an episode of Karen in 1964, and his last credit was for Journeys Below the Line in 2007. So long career there. Uh, Here's some notable things that popped out to me, but obviously there's going to be different stuff that appeals to different people. So, as always, I highly recommend going to check out any of these people we mentioned. He did
Mhm.
11 episodes of The Patty Duke Show, 10 episodes of Please Don't Eat the Daisies, 22 episodes of Get Smart, a show that continues to pop up with this in rotation with this one. 25 episodes of Hogan's Heroes, which is a show I don't think we've mentioned before, but is great.
Such a great show, man.
Mhm,
I used to watch that was another one along with the Munsters that I would watch with my grandma.
mhm. Oh, yeah. My dad is a big fan of that and MASH.
Yeah.
21 episodes of Love American Style. 7 episodes of BJ and the Bear because I saw that on the list and I was like, I have to mention it. Uh, 10 episodes of Barney Miller, 9 episodes of The Fall Guy, 17 episodes of Hotel. This is for you, Mike. 4 episodes of The Flash.
Dun dun dun. Which version of the Flash?
Well, he stopped directing in 2007, so
Okay.
yeah. Um, an episode of Human Target, another comic connection. 17 episodes of Dinosaurs, the most depressing ending on TV. Uh, I thought you would
Dinosaur.
have a comment for that
Yeah.
one.
I
Live
mean, it's not the most depressing ending on TV. I've seen some presidential things.
most depressing fictional ending to a TV show. How about that?
Okay.
11 episodes of The Sentinel and 10 episodes of Viper. We had one guest this week. It was John.
Before you do that, I want to say something. So Hillary Van Dyke, we talked about her. We did spotlights on this cast too, right?
Yes.
Did you mention that she played Joan of Arc
I
in one
cannot remember at
episode?
this point, but I may not have. So,
It
and if I
is
did, it's a refresher.
so she played Joan of Arc in an episode of Life Goes On. I assume it's just one episode, according to IMDb, anyway, or not IMDb to Wikipedia.
Mhm.
Um, I'm trying to find a picture of her as Joan of Arc, and I cannot find one. So if anyone out there has a picture of Hilary Van Dyke as Joan of Arc, please send it to me. Thank you. All right. Anyways, continue on with the guests.
All right. So, our only guest this episode is John Sanderford as Gordon Fenway. His first recorded acting role was in an episode of Bosom Buddies in 1981. His last credit was in an audio drama, Solve the Podcast, that came out in 2020. And then he passed away in September 2023 at the age of 71, sadly.
So he just passed away not that long ago.
Yep.
Shit.
He was on 6 episodes of General Hospital, an episode of Saint Elsewhere, which is a very complicated multiversal show that connects to literally everything, and 132 episodes of Ryan's Hope as Frank Ryan. That's all I got.
That's it?
Yeah. There was some more on there, but he did a lot of like one-off appearances and stuff.
He was in Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah, but no one wants to say they were in that movie.
I mean, that was Revenge of the Fallen was the last one with Shia LaBeouf, right?
No, that was the middle one.
Revenge of the Fallen's the second one then?
Yep, the one with the terrible Devastator Constructicons with the balls.
Balls. Oh yeah. Yeah, the Constructicons in that movie were yeah. Yeah, okay. Anyways. All right, that's all you got then for him?
Yeah. Like I said at the top, I highly recommend going to check out all these people yourself, IMDb, Wikipedia, whatever you find. Chances are they were in something that you love.
Awesome. All right, so does that mean it's synopsis time?
It's synopsis time.
It's synopsis time. All
Synopsis time.
Let's see if I did it decently this week. I didn't have as much time, but I tried.
You had a day.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, synopsis time on this episode of. Don't screw up my mojo. Synopsis time.
Synopsis time.
On this episode of The Munsters Today, Herman's past comes knocking when his former protege pays an unexpected visit, stirring up a whirlwind of emotions and leaving him in a disarray, as his protege embodies the essence of social media brought to life, challenging Herman in ways he never anticipated. Caught in a web of insecurities and longing for something more, Herman grapples with the age-old question: should he embrace the chaos of his unconventional life or succumb to the allure of change with one simple wish? Will Lily pressure Herman into pursuing a superior life and dine on a beluga whale? Can Marilyn resist the allure of a persona change, transforming into the definitive Marsha? Will Eddie succumb to the temptations of the shady corporate world, forsaking the Munster way for corporate ambition? Will Grandpa succeed in his quest to gain his halo? Will Spot devour a car or reject a simple treat? And will chaos ensue? Find out on this week's episode of The Munsters Today.
For anyone who didn't watch the episode, that's going to be a very confusing synopsis. But that makes it intriguing.
Okay.
You ready to dive in?
I am ready.
All right. So
as ready as I'll ever be.
We open with the whole family around the dining room table. Herman asks Eddie for the obituaries when he's done with the paper. He wants to see what kind of work week he has ahead. Grandpa asks him why he doesn't just do it scientifically. Herman wants to know how, and Grandpa says, "Here, let me read your horoscope." Of
Well, not
course.
even that. Before he even says, Grandpa says anything, wait, you said the obituary thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to pull my notes up. I'm sorry. I was like, where the hell did my notes go? Okay. Continue.
Before he can read the horoscope, however, the doorbell rings, and it's a dude in a suit.
Dun 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 dun
And this
dun
guy is
dun.
like fancy looking. It's pretty clear that they made him try to be in the polar opposite colors of Herman.
Yeah. Do you notice that like in this season, all the episodes are starting with somebody knocking on their door constantly?
It has happened a lot,
Yeah.
which is great because we didn't really hear the doorbell at all. Well, like once or twice in season one, so we're getting a lot more use out of it now.
Yeah.
Did you just hear an alarm going off?
Nope.
Okay, that's weird. I'm having a stroke. I
Tivis, why is
swear I
half of
heard.
your face slanting down?
I swear I heard like that phone alarm. Do 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 do.
No, don't hear it.
All right.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't be
okay.
able to hear anything in my house really anyways with my headphones on, so
No, I normally wouldn't either. That's why I was like, is it my phone? I don't have that alarm set. Mine is set to the Scrubs ending theme.
all right. So oh yeah, he answers the door and we get introduced to Gordon W. Fenway.
Who is Gordon?
Gordon used to be Herman's assistant at the parlor.
Hmm.
And he comes over and he meets Lily, and we get a great view of the mummy in the background right here in this
Yes, we
shot.
do. I saw it this time.
That was awesome. The Mummy Returns with Brendan Fraser. Fraser. Wow. Why did I say Fraser? I never say Fraser. Oh, anyways,
Yeah.
let's continue.
All right. So Lily offers him some coffee. And Herman's like, what are you doing in town? Gordon's giving a lecture at the local Hilton. I hope they got some kickback for that sponsor.
Yeah.
Herman knew he would make a fine mortician one day. And Gordon says, no. I went back to medical school to get my degree. I'm a coroner now. And that impresses Grandpa.
Yeah.
That's where the money is. Gordon goes on about how he has his own private practice in Beverly Hills. He specializes in the entertainment community. Marilyn asks if he can get her some autographs because she missed the first half of this conversation, and he kind of just gives her a look, and she takes the hint and leaves.
Yeah. She's like, wow, celebrities. Can you get me some autographs?
If you want me to forge their signature, sure. Herman.
I mean, though, but to be honest, with the Munsters, like, is death really the stopping point of autographs? Come on.
I
Come
mean, for
on.
everyone outside this family, yeah.
Come on. They
Herman
could
asked,
reassemble them and bring them back to life like Herman and then get their autographs.
you
Or
need to call Frankenstein.
just take their hands, pop it off, put them on the Herman's body. He can autograph it in their penmanship. Oh, wow. Can you imagine that? Like how Captain Hook can change his hooks, but Herman could change his hands. That'd be awesome. Anyways,
I don't know why, but now I'm suddenly wishing Jonathan would come back. Uh, or yeah. Herman asks him what his secret is. There's no secret. A man has a vision. A man has guts. A man follows through on that vision. And Grandpa, who's bored with this and gone back to reading his paper, chimes in and says that man begins talking about himself in third person. And that's when Gordon goes, a man becomes rich.
and Grandpa's like, a man can talk as much as he wants.
Talk about himself anywhere he likes. I like you.
Yeah.
Gordon then asks Herman where he built his parlor. The last time they talked, he was looking at lots by the Golden Years. Lily is back in the room at this point, and she's like, "The Golden Years? What?" Grandpa chimes in again. It's the old folks' home. Locations, everything.
Yeah. How long has it been since the Munsters have been here? If this guy was his assistant, or
Oh
we're
yeah,
just
I
getting
have.
rid of the time travel shit, right? Like the
Yeah,
time
I have that.
travel is gone now.
Because he
Yeah,
mentions that what was it 6 years ago or something. We're getting to it.
yeah.
But Herman
Either
admits that
that
it.
or Eddie ages very slowly.
Yeah, Herman admits that it didn't work out. Sorry, as he planned. Gordon interrupts him and tells Lily and Grandpa that Herman had some brilliant plans when they worked together. I remember that one concept you had of video tombstones. And Herman's like, yeah, that was a
Mhm.
crazy idea. But Gordon's
Which
like,
is actually a thing.
yeah. Gordon says, no, no, no. That dude in California made a boat or a fortune with the idea.
Yeah. I
And
tried Googling
Eddie,
and to find out when video tombstones became an actual thing, like in
Mhm.
reality. I couldn't figure out like an exact date, but they are a real thing.
Oh, if I had the money, which I don't and never will, I would get that with some speakers on it. So every Halloween, every like 30 minutes, you just and have the like one of those horror videos on YouTube where
Mhm.
it's just the scary face pops up, it's like ah!
I just want to be done up like the guy from that Marvel one. The Marvel Halloween episode that they did. Uh Werewolf by Night, was that what it was called?
Oh, where he's a puppet. Yeah, Werewolf
Yeah,
by Night.
that's how I want to be. I just want to be a puppet who has like something that makes me talk. That way I can still join in the conversations. Come
That's
on.
weird.
The Munsters would love that.
They would, but that doesn't make it less weird.
It's either that or just stuff me and put me in the corner as a coat rack.
So Eddie is shocked to hear that that was his dad's idea, and Herman says, "Yeah, it was Beta." And Eddie's less impressed by this because no one liked Betamax. Uh,
Mhm.
Gordon wants to meet at Herman's office for lunch tomorrow, and
Betamax
Herman
did have better audio, just saying. Just saying.
Herman's like, "Yeah, sure." Gordon's like, "Hey, our grandpa's like, when did you get an office?" And Herman's like, "Hey, why don't we go out for lunch?"
Mhm.
And Gordon's like, "Sure. I haven't been to the Oak Rooms in ages." And Lily is like, wait, isn't that restaurant that they don't put prices on the menu?"
Which for
And
people who don't know, restaurants that don't put prices on the menu, usually very expensive.
they're called a scam because depending on how they feel about you, they'll charge you more. Uh,
And the time of day.
yeah, screw places like that. Plus, they rarely have a burger, and I do not trust a chef who doesn't know how to make a burger. Uh, Gordon says, "Look, Herman can just write it off as a business lunch. It'll be fine." Then asks,
Yeah.
"So what are your titles these days?" Herman's like, I'm the overseer of the final stage of customer relations," which is amazing. Gordon is intrigued by this, and Grandpa explains he's in the earth removal department.
Which
Gordon, go ahead.
it's awesome because I've always tried to tell my kids too. I was like, "Look, your first few jobs are gonna be bullshit jobs. When you write your resume up, you make it sound like you did so much by using, like, words that will, like, fascinate people." Hell, there's been some directors out there who've gotten jobs based on lying on their resume by making it sound like they've gotten better, you know?
A lot of people have lied on their resume.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm about to start doing that. They never do any background checks. Yeah, I got my bachelor's. Don't worry about the associates.
I got my master's degree now.
I'm not going to go that far.
Anyway.
Yeah. Gordon catches on to what Grandpa means. He's like, look, Herman, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Very successful men dug ditches before they found their niches. He says, lunch is on me. And Grandpa's like, I'm in. Herman insists on paying, and Grandpa's out. And Gordon says, no, really. I'll make the reservation. And then he stares at Grandpa's for two. His Grandpa's like, I wasn't planning on being hungry tomorrow anyway. And run, Gordon. He's going to feast on you.
Yeah.
So Gordon tells Herman to stop by his hotel and look, I'll find you a nice clean jacket to wear. And then he heads out, leaving Herman feeling crummy. 6 years ago, that guy looked up to Herman. And here's where I say we're throwing out the whole Frozen aspect.
Yeah.
Because we clearly are. Which is fine. It makes sense why they removed it from the intro now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lily tells him he wouldn't want to be Gordon. Herman says no, he wouldn't, but he's not so sure he wants to be Herman Munster either. And we get some of the saddest music playing as they zoom into Herman's face. Lily looks at Grandpa, who raises an eyebrow, and I can't tell if he's feeling empathy or annoyance that he can't go to lunch still.
Probably a little both. With Grandpa, it's
it's hard to. I tell you what, Howard acts his ass off in this episode, and I love the whole family for that matter. I'm not just oh my god, all of them, like Hillary later. Ooh. All right.
Where we at? Clean jacket, blah blah blah.
Lily is coming
I
downstairs.
wrote in there. I wrote in there after the whole clean jacket thing. I was like, damn. Like what? That would have been the perfect spot. Well, for the darn, but still.
Yeah, we haven't heard him do that a whole lot this season. He did it a few times last, but
did he?
Yeah, like once or twice.
But very subtle, probably.
Yeah, it's been sparse.
It wasn't like Fred's, like darn.
No, not at all. The laugh is missing too, I've noticed, which I think we brought up an episode or two ago.
Yeah.
Lily comes downstairs at 3 a.m. to find Herman reading his old diary in the living room. She asks him to read it to her like they used to. So he begins. February 2nd, 1723. Bucharest. Now, Bucharest is the capital of Romania, for anyone who doesn't know. I am digging as fast as I've ever dug before. Vlad has promised me as much freelance work as I can handle. I have no doubts now that someday I will run my very own parlor.
And I assume he's talking about Vlad the Impaler.
Oh, yeah.
But Vlad the Impaler died in like 1476.
Well, he came back as a vampire.
This must be the vampire Vlad.
Yep.
Which means that Grandpa's not.
It could be a relation to him because he's Sam Dracula in this, remember?
Right. That's my thing. Is like he's Sam Dracula. So with Herman 17, we gotta go through this timeline one of these days and figure out these times that they keep saying, man. Because 17, whatever he says in this one, and then it's like, oh, where's Grandpa? Grandpa says something another time in this episode, I believe it was, as well. Anyway.
Oh my god, why am I doing that?
Let's go.
Okay. Lily recalls he was going to call it House of Herman. She asks if he still remembers the slogan, and that's when he says, "Trust me, I've been there." which is great. She says he used to be so ambitious, and he's like, "Yeah, that hasn't amounted to anything." She's like, "What are you talking about? You have a loving family." He's like, "You know, they just put up with me." So she changes tact. "We had a warm bed and a roof over your head, one that squeaks and one that leaks. I hope it's the roof." Yes, yeah, yes. I'm holding. I'm holding.
All right. I had to finish chewing. That one confused the shit out of me
Why?
because he's like one that squeaks and one that leaks. I'm like, all right. So is it a bad thing that your bed's squeaking? Like, is it squeaking for good reasons?
I'm going to assume no if he's saying it the negative way.
Harsh, Herman. Harsh. I feel him though when he was talking about like how, they only put up with me. I actually had that moment last night with
Oh
Nick. I was
no.
like, you guys just put up with me. I was like, no one actually gives a crap.
Oh, that's not true, and you know it.
I was like, if I die, the only reason you're going to show up is because you're married to me.
No, there's no way that's true.
It's like, if we were just friends still, you wouldn't show up. Yeah. It wasn't like an argument. It wasn't an argument. It was just me being like, I watched this damn episode, okay? And it made me feel bad.
This one definitely gives the feels, but I mean, so does the original where they got the source for the story.
Yeah.
There's a reason it's a classic.
Yeah.
Uh,
But a lot of things like he's feeling there, like I put into the description, like the one dude's like the embodiment of social media, it's
mm,
because that's what I felt when I was watching this. I was like, oh, this is what, like, how some people feel down about their own lives and stuff
mhm.
because of what they are always constantly seeing. They're only seeing the good side of
Mhm.
everybody's life on social media and crap like that.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
the most
and
part, sometimes there are those people that you're friends with who have to post every dramatic thing in their life, which is annoying. Um, but
yep,
I only know how many issues you're having with your baby mama or baby dad, these guys. Like,
fighting with your landlord.
yeah, don't be so ratchet about it. Um, no one's gonna know what that means. But yeah, I just went well as watching this, it was just like, yeah, this is because we've all had for the most part, I would say the general population has had those feelings of like, oh man, I wish I could go do this. This friend's always out doing this or that.
Mhm.
They must be so much better, and it's like when, and I'm glad that the episode ends how it ends, of course.
Yeah.
Which we'll get there. I'm sorry to be sidetracking, but yeah, it was just one of those notes I just had to have like at this moment, especially because this is where Herman is like really feeling down on himself now. Um, as he's talking to Lily and stuff, and this is before Grandpa even comes up into this stuff, and you know, uh, as they're talking, Grandpa
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
rises from the lab. So, all right, let's go back onto it. I'll stop.
Well, I want to go back to your point about the him being social media, which is that
Yeah.
it's true. They have actually diagnosed. I forget what the technical term is, but if you see a lot of your friends like posting vacation pics and stuff, that it 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 invokes some jealous feelings in some people. I don't
Mhm.
have that. I'm more or less like, that's awesome. I wish I could do that, but I'm glad you got to have fun.
Right, right, right.
But you're right. Everyone definitely feels moments where they're like, "Man, I wish I had done this different so that my life could be better."
Yeah.
Um,
And it's not even just like, oh, like relationship stuff is always one to like people see only the good side of those people's relationships. So I
mhm.
try and always keep it like real with people. I'm like, what way fighting? Like it happens, dude. Like
I just,
'cause
look. I'm sorry if you're going out of your way to talk about how in love you are constantly, every day, multiple times a day. You are covering something up.
oh yeah.
That is just a simple
Yeah.
truth. Stop pretending.
I
That's
mean, you could
why I only say things on anniversaries and birthdays
to
and
be
Valentine's
fair,
Day.
to be fair though, like so I do post things about like how actually I haven't done it in a while about loving my wife so much and stuff. But
Well, maybe that's why she's putting up.
right, she's just putting up with me. But at the same time, there are moments where it's just like, maybe one spouse does have more stronger feelings for the other,
Mhm.
and they want to be able to share those feelings, I guess. But honestly, do it in private first. Make sure whatever you're doing on social media, you're also saying to them personally, not just
Yeah,
putting it on social media for the clout or the likes and all that fun stuff. But there's
that's
also
yeah.
not even just like relationship stuff, vacation type stuff, like what you're doing with your life, but like work stuff even. And that I think that's the one that's gotten to me more in the past was work stuff.
Mhm.
Um just because like things have happened here and there with stupid job things and I'm just like, man, I wish I was kind of there. But then I'm kind of like, if I was there, would I really be around my kids as much? Probably
Mhm.
not. So there's always an up and the downside to everything. You just
Oh
gotta look
yeah,
at it for your own personal life. And
like
sometimes, like, those things, as we'll find out in this episode, don't always work out to how you think they would in your life.
oh yeah, multiple times this week I was like, I wish I went into computer engineering instead of programming because there is no jobs for programming. But at the same time, I'm like, I could be earning more money somewhere else.
Mhm.
I'm really happy at my job. Like they're lenient as hell. I can do whatever I want with my day with as long as I get the work done.
Right.
They leave me alone. And this is the happiest I've ever been at a job. So uh it's like do I want more money or do I want to be happy?
Right. It could
Yeah.
be better, but it could also be worse.
Oh yeah. It's the grass always looks greener until you're standing on a pitfall
Yeah. Yeah.
because some
Definitely.
jackass put leaves over a hole. Uh, anyway, we've
Herman,
gone off
no.
topic.
That's how Herman got his freaking business up and started.
All right,
I
so
already dug the hole.
Lily's like, "Look, so your plans haven't all worked out. It's okay.
Mhm.
You know, they've managed their life just fine." And Herman's like, "It isn't enough though. You all deserve more. Marilyn should have her own car like other teenagers. Eddie's gonna need braces soon, which doesn't his teeth look good.
Yeah, I was gonna say his
Grandpa
teeth look great.
Grandpa shouldn't be flying around to find fresh blood." And as he's saying this, Grandpa's just coming up the stairs, no idea what they're even talking about,
Well, first
presumably for a late night snack.
he doesn't even say that grandpa shouldn't be doing. He's like, grandpa's getting too old to be going around finding some.
Which I think Grandpa comes up after that, so we didn't hear that dig, but
Yeah.
uh yeah, Grandpa's there.
And he's like, yeah, it should be delivered to me at the front door. Like he said,
Uh
like something out, and I don't know what he said though.
sparklers.
Sparklers. What the hell is that?
Sparklers?
Yeah.
Fireworks.
How would those be delivered to you at the front door?
I'm pretty sure he's saying illegally.
Gotcha. Right over my head on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Uh
makes a little more sense.
yeah, Herman's like medical science shouldn't be tampering with nature and wishes he was never built. Lily tells him never to say such things, but Grandpa's like, Lily, go to bed. I'm gonna
It
talk
gets
to Herman.
very serious. Holy shit, it got very serious in this spot.
Oh yeah, he does. Oh man, Howard
He's
is
like, Lily, go to bed. I'll talk to him. And I'm just like, what's going on? He's gonna kill him. I was like, he's totally gonna kill him.
and Grandpa just looks at him. He's like, come on. Herman's like, where are we going? He's like, we're going skiing down the Alps. Where do you think we're going? To the lab. And
Yeah.
the exchange with from the moment he got up those stairs to the point where he's like, okay, this is getting serious. I need to help my son-in-law. The whole tone of like the way Howard is playing this, I'm like, God, now I understand, you know, how people really fell in love with this version of the character because
Mhm.
holy cow. Like, I have enjoyed his performance, but this episode specifically,
Yeah.
So now we're down in the lab. Leonard's head is still hanging loosely, which makes me think he's definitely broke.
I love the lab right now. I just like it. For
Mhm.
some reason, there's like yellow lights flashing in the background. I don't know what that's from, but it's cool.
Yeah. Grandpa repeats what Herman said about not being built, and Herman says that Frankenstein should have sold him for scrap. Grandpa's like, "All right, get on the table. We'll begin." Hold on, wait, what? Are you about to disassemble me?
No, disassemble Johnny number 5.
Yeah.
No.
Grandpa's like, if you feel so unimportant, I'm going to show you what it's like for your family when you're not around. And Herman is extremely skeptical about this, but Grandpa's like, hey, Jimmy Stewart said the same thing.
Yeah.
Direct reference to James Stewart.
Yeah.
For those who are not picking up on the very not subtle clues that this is based on It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah. I kind of wish that this was something that everybody could experience, like a life without you, like how people in your life would interact. Granted, if you have kids, your kids should not exist, which is an
Oh,
issue
we
I
will
have with this, but
get to that.
yeah. All right, so then
So
he turns on the machine,
yeah.
right?
Uh,
And flickering
oh,
lights and Herman shaking.
there's a Doctor Who reference right here.
Is there?
He's going to reverse the polarity on the molecular transponge. That is straight Doctor Who reference. John Pertwee, father of Sean Pertwee, if you're a fan of Gotham, like
Hmm.
Myke here, used reverse the polarity of the neutron flow as his catchphrase. And everything that has followed since then who has mentioned reverse the polarity is in reference to that character.
Interesting.
Yes. So yeah, this episode rules, just flat out. So yeah,
All
he's
right,
going to
go on.
he's going to force all the molecules to go backwards until Herman never existed at all. And Herman nods and lays down. Grandma's like,
Which
in
wouldn't that
theory,
mean that like if all those molecules reverse backwards to never exist, wouldn't that mean that whoever's body parts those actually are never existed? So they're just
someone's
erasing lives.
or yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if they're going to erase lives. They might just suddenly lose their arm and head and heart. A lot of dead people. Uh,
They're erasing their molecules though.
yeah, that means the
It's
pieces
like
of them are gone.
whatever Grandpa's doing here is Thanos snapping them all out of existence
But
throughout
I'm
time.
saying, wouldn't it just be the parts of the person? God, how confusing would that be if your heart just suddenly vanished and never existed, and someone's like, "How was I married to this person with no heart?"
It wouldn't be confusing. They'd be dead. Like,
Yeah, but imagine that person was married with a family, and then all of a sudden they've been a corpse with no heart their entire life. That's confusing.
yeah. Like where did his heart go?
Yeah.
His heart got raptured and not the rest of his body. There we go.
But anyway, Grandpa goes, in theory, and Herman rises back up. And Grandpa looks at him and like, look, there's a chance you might explode. Do you want to change your mind? And I was like, no, just put down a drop cloth. And so we begin with the amazing early computer stories. God, this is the second time they've done this now.
Mhm.
Before people actually understood what computers can do.
Or maybe we don't know what computers really can do and they did back then.
Yeah.
And
So
we just use it for stupid videos of cats.
we got cool electric bolts underneath the table with Herman as the lights dim. The green glow from Grandpa's computer is just shining off of his face, and so well done.
Mhm.
And when it's all over, Herman unbuckles himself and starts wandering around as Grandpa comes out of his coffin with wings. Little fairy wings. Herman's like, "Hey, what happened?"
Looks like the
And Grandpa
Tooth Fairy from the Santa Claus movies.
does. It looks like they just found Tooth Fairy wings on another set and said, "Here, wear these." Grandpa tells it like, "Hey, I'm not Grandpa. I'm your guardian angel, and from henceforth will be known as Guardian Grandpa or GG. Welcome to the world without Herman Munster." And Herman's like, "Wait, but I'm right here. Everything's the same. You're even here." And Grandpa turns around and points to his wings, and Herman's like, "You think I'm, no, there's no way those are." It starts touching them, and they make noise, and he's like, "Whoa."
And then he's like, "You don't believe me?
Uh,
Well, yeah. Well, feel your neck."
yeah.
And he goes,
Oh,
"Ah, where's my boats? Where's my boats?"
yeah. He's like, "You're gonna." He's like, "No, give me them back." He's like, "I'm sorry that someone else is using them. Who would want a couple 100-year-old rusty bolts?" And GG's like, "Hey, the mechanics over at Eastern Airlines," which is very topical for those who don't know. Eastern Airlines is a giant buyer of Boeing planes.
Mm-hmm. That's about it because they barely do flights.
Yep.
But this is also probably in reference to back in the 40s. I looked this up. So I was like, it has to be something. Back in the 40s was considered the worst disaster in aviation history for America at the time, because they crashed due to missing bolts. So yeah,
So topical then, and somehow this show continues to deliver. It seems like every episode there's a topic that's still relevant.
like The Simpsons.
Sadly. Well, The
I, s-
Simpsons just predicts the future at this point.
I swear, like, just maybe it's shows from the 80s and 90s, just they knew what was going to happen
Yeah,
continually.
because we haven't changed anything.
I know.
We constantly keep talking about how we have to fix it, and then they don't.
We have to change everything, and
And there's
nothing
a reason our
changes.
economy sucks, and that's because no one wants to do anything to fix it.
Mm.
All right.
Anyway, so
Herman finally has had enough and yells for Lily, but Gigi's like, "No, she can't hear you because you don't exist."
yeah,
So Herman's like, "Leonard, do I exist?" No. And by the way, Leonard seems fixed now. So I wonder if
yeah,
they filmed this before the earlier scene.
maybe.
And Herman's about to ask about his family when Gigi just tells him, "Just go upstairs and find out already."
And then he goes upstairs to a house that's just
Decorate.
decorated different. Like it's not even like they
The
didn't even clean.
cobwebs are still there.
Yes, everything is still. I'm like, you couldn't have just had a different house. One, how did they still have this house if it wasn't for her? If Herman wasn't the owner, like I don't feel the other guy would have bought this house that shows up. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah. And
To
it's
me,
like the
I
furniture.
almost felt like it was like a setup,
Yeah. The
not like an
furniture
actual
is
time travel.
pink. It's fancier.
It's
The
like when they lived in their
stairs.
80s apartment.
Yes. The stairs are the only part of the actual set that looks like it got cleaned up. Like the cobwebs are literally still there behind all the nice stuff.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
like, we don't want to set that back up, so let's just pretend it's not.
yeah.
Um,
Like they couldn't even have been bothered to make an alt set for this real quick.
yeah, they kind of brought back the like you said, the '80s one and just changed it around a bit, but
Yeah.
yeah. So Guardian Grandpa, Guardian GG. I have it written out,
GG.
but I'm not gonna say that every time. Comes up to tell him, "Look, it's not your house anymore." I was like, "I never could provide something like this." And Gigi's like, "Robin Leach couldn't provide a house like this." Robin Leach, for those who don't know, once again, another fun fact, is a British entertainer and writer best known for hosting Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Okay. Dude,
Herman, okay.
I could make this house right now though. You just I could trash a house and then go to the thrift store and buy the same shit now and put it in
Mm.
this house. It would
Hell,
cost me like $30.
go back and listen to the episodes where Myke was renovating a house. He probably built something nicer.
I did.
Um,
Were we doing this show when I did that?
yeah, because you tore your arm open.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was like the first year we started.
That's right.
Herman
All right.
begins fantasizing about what he could do to for his family if he made this much money. Lily would look like, and at that moment, Lily comes out, and I didn't notice anything was weird at first. She's in a pink fuzzy robe that we see from the intro, and I was really wondering when that was going to come into play.
Yeah.
And then I realized she's wearing a fat suit under it.
Yep. And again,
And
another thing I gotta point out reminds me of when at the very end of Santa Claus 2, when Miss Claus is finally in her fat suit and she's like shaking it around and stuff. It looks just like that, just pink instead of red.
they got rid of that fat suit, didn't they?
They did. Well, no,
I
she had
never,
a fat suit in 3 as well, but she was
but not
also
the TV show.
pregnant, but not in the TV show. In the TV show, she was skinny the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I never noticed that. All right. But yeah, Herman finishes his
That
sentence
was
with,
probably
"Look,
part of her contract. She was like, "I'm not wearing this suit again."
I don't blame her."
I mean,
Uh
Tim barely wore the suit, so
yeah, I'm sure that was in his contract too.
and he kept
We
getting
have to
thinner.
find story reasons for why I get depowered.
Yeah, he kept getting thinner too. Like
Mm,
as the years went by, the Santa Claus suit thinned out. Anyways,
this
that's
is not Santa Claus's, which is a great show, by the way. Go watch it.
yeah. So Lily
Herman,
walks out
yeah,
and she just comes out and sits on the couch. She's eating
the
meats,
chocolates. But
chocolate. I couldn't
did
tell.
did you get Herman's finishing his line?
Yeah, like 1,000,000 pounds.
Yeah, it looks like 1,000,000 pounds. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be one of these episodes. Okay. Now, just to be clear, audio listeners, if you have not looked at our video ever, I'm not exactly skinny, and I'm not bothered by fat jokes, but I know a lot of people who will be upset by this episode today.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, wow, they really, yeah, they went at the fat. They, but it was the 80s. Like that was the thing.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
everyone was
no,
supposed to
yeah,
be out and fit and
as we said, yeah, that was fitness craze was big then, but as
yeah,
we said with the classic show, you gotta take the story with the time it was made in.
yeah. I mean, you say the
We
fitness craze was big then. The fitness craze is big now. Just I think people,
Well, it comes around every 20 years because it was big in the
yeah.
late 80s, and then it came back in the 2000s with the everything was diet, remember? They were trying to lower the calories, and then it hit
There's a
2010s, they're like, no one
Tivis.
cares anymore.
There's a reason the word die is in diet
Yeah.
because you will die from those things.
Do you remember the Atkins diet that Sharon Osbourne was pushing? Eat
I
nothing but red meat. Anyway, this is a very off-topic episode. This could be a long one for you guys. I hope you enjoy. So yeah, she's eating chocolates. Herman tries to talk to her, but she's ignoring him like he doesn't exist. And Gigi tells him, "It's because you don't exist."
yeah.
And Herman now understands what it's like to be Dan Quayle.
He's he keeps looking back at her. Every time she's eating, he's like, "Ew, look at her. She's like a human vacuum."
Yeah, yeah. Grandpa's like, no, worse. Vacuums can only hold so much. Dan Quayle, another fun fact, was Vice President of America under George H.W. Bush.
Mm.
Yeah. So a lot of references in this one.
The mummy's not in the background no more.
Yeah, because the guy probably got rid of it. No X's in this house.
She's had that mummy for like what, 300, 400 years or some shit like that?
Does that mean she only kept it as a backup to run away from Herman?
Or maybe he got rid of it because he didn't want her to be able to get rich without him.
Yeah. So Gigi is ready to show Herman a regular evening in the Fenway household. And Herman's like, Fenway? And at that, Gordon comes out and asks Lily to guess who. And she
Donald
answers it,
Trump.
Donald Trump. He's
You
like,
can't even make this shit up. How like relevant all this stuff is. It's so weird.
mhm. And he's like, very close, and then begins kissing her. And Herman's getting pissed. And Gigi's
Mm.
like, all right, if that's the case, we need to be out of here by nightfall. Gordon asks if she wants to go for a walk, and Lily's like, I just did. And she's talking weird, but I can't
Mm.
tell if it's an accent or she's drunk.
No, she's totally using an accent. I think I put it somewhere in my notes too, like
I
that she just
feel like
has this.
she might be drunk.
Because if you notice, as they all are starting to come out, they all have a different accent or vocal
Oh, oh,
change.
I can't wait till we get to Hillary, but yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, she's like, I just did all the way from the kitchen and I'm exhausted.
yeah.
He's like, all right. Have you had any thoughts for dinner? And Herman's like, oh, thank God she still cooks, which, I mean, seriously? Lily, who sounds, okay, yeah, I already said this. She sounds like she might be drunk. She's like, yeah, I ordered a rack of lamb, some
She
goat
has
cheese,
she has
and a
kind of like
pizza.
a mixture of like a Brooklyn Jersey accent going on here. It's like
It's weird.
it's yeah. And I know it's
Uh,
supposed to be like over the top, like that's why they're doing it because it's just supposed to be like it's completely over the top different, Herman, without you. And yeah.
and this is a wonderful episode to see the acting chops of this family too. Like,
Mhm.
oh, again, I can't wait till we get to the Hillary part. Yeah,
Did Fenway kick Grandpa out?
I was wondering the same thing.
Because we
Or
don't get another
did
version of
Grandpa just
Grandpa.
leave?
Or did he stake him at night?
Mm,
Ooh.
maybe that's why he's an angel. Uh,
Oh, that's sad.
so yeah, she's like, yeah, I ordered a rack of lamb, goat cheese, and a pizza, and I
Mhm.
got you a tuna melt.
Oh, great. Thanks, honey.
Now we get Marilyn, who comes in. Gordon asks if she finished her paper for English class, and she begins. Well, first she kisses. Oh no, this is later on.
Yeah.
She begins talking. I don't even know how to describe this accent. It's like hippie meets Valley Girl meets beatnik.
Yeah. It's like a little everything.
And she's clearly very dumb in this universe.
Or stoned. Maybe she's stoned. I
She
couldn't
could be
tell.
stoned. She very well could be stoned. Um, yeah, and I can't tell if it's the quality of the version we're watching, but does it seem like Marilyn's face is extremely red? Like maybe in between these takes, she's like Hillary is having fits of laughing fits as they had to keep trying
Maybe.
because
Yeah.
her face is so red.
Yeah. And it's so over the top too. So I mean, but maybe
I
her face, maybe they made her face red on purpose too, because
It
she's
could
got
have.
more of like the Valley Girl thing going. So it's like supposed to be tan, you
Mhm.
know?
I could see this being a really fun day on set with all the weird. Anytime you got to do weird stuff like this, like oh
Mhm.
god, please, if Universal ever releases this on a box set, I hope to God in their archive somewhere there is some kind of bloopers for this show because I have a feeling this episode specifically is gonna be a gold mine for it.
I doubt they have archives for it.
I
Like,
doubt it too, but boy, I really wish.
yeah. It'd be kind of cool to see some blooper stuff from these episodes.
Mhm.
Like,
If
especially
anyone
at the end.
if anyone who worked on this show happened to sneak some out and it made it way to the internet,
How
you
would they
would
have
be
done that back then,
wonderful.
Tivis?
I don't know. How do we have this show on the internet now? Well, it's people taping it.
Yeah,
I
they
answered my
actually
own
had to
question.
have like bigger cameras and shit. It's not like they could use their phones on set.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, Marilyn appears to be one of Lily's kids in this version because she calls Gordon dad unless he adopted her.
Or maybe that's her real dad in this universe without Herman. You never know who his sister married. Because in this universe, it's his sister's kid. In the other universe, it was her sister's kid.
Yeah.
So you never know who his sister married at first.
So Eddie
And
comes
then he
in
killed her.
and is
How does Herman have a sister? What does his sister look like? I want to see his sister.
in the old show. He had two brothers, so
And they all look like him.
yeah.
How many?
So does that?
Where is the likelihood that Dr. Frankenstein got 3 heads from people that looked exactly the same?
Hey, triplets exist.
But what is the likelihood that he did that? And we're able to bring them back. They all had to have died at the same time for them
Or
to be
were
no
killed.
aging. Vlad.
I mean, we in a lot of this sounds like Grandpa was involved, so he may have been the person fetching the body parts.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, yeah. So Hillary, or Marilyn walks over to her daddy, and gives him a kiss. But this is after she read her poem, right?
Yeah, her weird ass
Which,
poem. I didn't
which
write it down.
the ending, I only wrote the ending down. It says, "If Daddy dies, it will be tragic. Where would I be without his plastic?" It's just like, and then they're like, "Oh, you wrote that really well," and she's like, "Actually, no, I didn't. I needed $10 to pay the guy who wrote it for me." And then she goes
And
over, gives him like, doesn't even actually kiss him on the cheek, just does like the whole like rich thing where they go in for it but don't even do it. I say rich thing. That's like they do it in other cultures too, but yeah, um, in this aspect. So, but then she leaves scene, and then who walks in?
Eddie. And he's in a suit. He's in a full suit.
It's Eddie
Uh
Trumpster.
like, aren't you supposed to be at debate club? And he's like, no, I quit. The coach wanted me to argue for the rights of the homeless. And Lily goes, I hope you left with dignity. And he's like, yeah. I shook his hand, thanked him, slashed his tires in the parking lot.
Yeah, Eddie comes in a full ass suit too. He's like in a 3-piece suit.
Mhm.
How is Eddie still alive?
Yeah.
How is Eddie here? How? No, just
But
explain to me how Eddie is here looking like he did. It would have been really funny if they would have brought Eddie in and it was Butch Patrick.
full grown adult.
Yeah, it would have been fucking hilarious.
He goes over to his cupboard as well after this, which I guess the one constant in his life is his cupboard.
Mhm. Which
So
has like a little TV in it right now and something else. I
yeah,
couldn't tell.
and we'll see it later. He's on there's a phone in there, which reminds me of the old casket from the show. But
Mhm.
uh, at this moment, Lily calls for Spot, and Herman's like, "Oh, good, Spot. He'll never
You,
change."
you forgot how he ended it. They said, "Well, how'd you do it?" And he said, "Well, Eddie's like, well, I shook his hand, thanked him for his time, and slashed his tires in the parking lot."
I said that.
Did you? Uh,
Yes,
wow.
that's okay. That's a staple of our show.
I was listening. How did I miss that? I don't know.
Eh,
Moving on. Cut it in post. I'm not
you
gonna
could just
cut
edit
that,
it out and make it sound like I didn't.
right? Like, Tivis, you didn't say that. What are you talking about? And then go back.
Uh,
I guess we'll find out in post. All right.
Yeah, so she's like, "Come on, Spot." The stairs open,
And this
and
is
out
where,
comes.
well, before then, he's like, awesome spot. The one thing that's never going to change.
Mhm.
And then out comes this little tiny white furry
Poodle.
pooch. Is it a poodle? Was it a
It's a
poodle pup?
poodle. It's a yeah.
Yeah. And
And did you write down what comes next?
so he runs over and just smells the dog treat and is like,
Mm,
nope, I'm out of here. Not having any of that. And then it
but
runs
don't
off
worry,
screen.
it doesn't go to waste.
I'm assuming Spot is a he. I don't know. It could be a she. They don't really say. Anyways, but yeah, Lily ends up eating the doggy treat, and she enjoys it.
Yeah, she's like sniffing it. Mm.
Mhm. And then this is where Herman like breaks, and he does like
Enough is enough. I'm heading in.
he
You
does this
can't. It's
like
against the rules.
yeah.
Watch me.
He just like puts his hand up and goes like,
Yeah, he's unzipping a tent or something.
and then he walks through into the universe, and I'm like, is he like Deadpool right now, just crossing into multiple universes? Like, what's going on here?
Then Marilyn comes up
For
behind
people
him.
who don't get that, that's a comic thing, not a movie thing. Yet.
Mm. And Marilyn's like, "Boy, have you ever thought about knocking before entering?" Herman goes off on her like, "You go up there and rewrite that poem by yourself." And she's like, "Fuck you." And Gordon's like, "Hey, didn't I see you at some kind of like convention before or something?" And Lily's like, "No, it's the delivery boy.
Where's my
Where's my rack
food?
of I didn't bring any." And he
She's
begins
she's
to,
she's starting to give off like very like um what is that guy's name? Fat fat from Austin Powers.
oh, Goldfinger? No,
The
Fat
fat
Bastard.
guy, fat bastard, yeah. Fat bastard.
Yeah. He begins
Like,
to try and talk to her and she cuts him off.
yeah.
"No, you need to go get that rack of lamb and throw in a side of pasta for your mistake."
Get in my belly.
He's like, "I- I'm not leaving before I finish what I have to say." And instead of
Y
talking to her, he goes straight to Eddie because he gives up on her.
you notice that she only is standing up when she walks in the scene, and then right here as she's, like, berating him,
Hmm.
and then she's like, does this thing where she's like, "I'm so hungry, I'm thinking I can
I'm
feel a
wasting,
rib."
I'm wasting away here.
Then she sits her ass back down and starts eating whatever is on this tray. I can't tell if it's chocolate or meats.
I think it's chocolate.
Mm.
So he goes over to Eddie, and here's where we see Eddie's on the phone. He tells him, "Look, what you did, you broke the law. Shouldn't do that." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, mister." Before under his breath going, "You old bat," or whatever he says.
Yeah,
Which, to be fair, not that different from the Eddie and his
right.
universe.
It's more like
Uh,
grandpa, to be honest. He acts a little
oh,
more
he
like grandpa
is. He's
here.
so much like Grandpa. And finally, he gets the courage to try Lily again.
Oh my god,
There's
this
more to life.
Eddie. No, I'm not even gonna say it.
Oh, assimilate Grandpa or whatever.
I was gonna say is Eddie the spawn of grandpa.
Oh no.
I mean, Herman wasn't around. Someone had to take care of his daughter. Oh, why'd you make me say it?
You have to cut this. You
I
have to
have
cut
to.
this. Yes, you have to cut this.
Tivis, continue. He's 300
Oh,
years old and she's like 200. Chill.
oh God. Anyway, Herman finally turns to Lily. There's more to life than stuffing bonbons into your mouth.
Mhm.
don't you have anything to say for yourself? And Lily burps at him, and Gordon compliments her on her elegant rebuttal.
she just burps at him like, nope.
Gordon does not give a shit this guy is in his house, by the way. He's just whatever.
Yeah, they stay on the couch the whole time. It's like they don't really care.
Gigi then tells him his time is up, and Herman's like, no, just one more question. One more. He turns to Lily. Are you happy living this way? Lily's like, I'm very comfortable.
I'm comfortable.
He's like, but are you content? And she says, well, I had lipo last year and my chin's reduced.
Yeah.
Cost a fortune, but I'm feeling great about myself.
And Fenway's like,
oh,
go on.
Well, yeah, he's like, yeah, she's got money. She's rich. Of course she's happy.
Yeah.
Herman then wonders what she looked like before, and Gigi's like, think SeaWorld. And Herman's, So Herman tries one last time. Don't you feel like something is missing from your life? And she's like, yeah, where's my dinner? And Herman's like, I don't want to leave these people like this. They need me. I want to live. And Gigi's like, can you repeat that? The magic words. Corny maybe, but effective.
I want to live.
They vanish.
Yeah.
Lily screams not to forget the side of pasta, and I feel so bad for the delivery guy that does arrive not knowing what just happened.
Yeah, it's gonna be that should have been the end scene.
Yeah. So
of that universe getting their stuff finally.
Herman, yeah. Herman wakes up on the table, goes to kiss Leonard, and screams, I'm alive. Leonard falls over due to Herman's insensitive comment. Grandpa rushes out saying he fell asleep waiting. He's like, what was it like in there? Oh, I'll tell you later, before rushing upstairs to see his family. All very nice people. He must have done something right. And Lily's like, yeah, that's what I've been saying, you idiot.
Yeah. They all just stand next to each other too, and it's interesting.
And Grandpa, you're a saint. And Grandpa, like, I'm much closer to an angel, before spiking the camera. This leaves Herman reeling before. All right, family back. Yay.
Right.
And now we get the final scene. Herman is finally telling Grandpa what it saw in there. It was terrible. Everyone was rich. No one had to work. There was no responsibilities for anyone. It was just terrible. And he walks away.
Grandpa's just like,
He's like, click, 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 jump on table.
And Grandpa's trying to get to the alternate world now too.
Yeah, he's gonna live in a simulation.
Not much unlike everyone nowadays.
Like that philosophy book. If you could live in a machine that made you the happiest you've ever been in your life, would you leave it?
No. Well, yeah, because it's not real. You just
end up real
dying.
Life sucks.
Yeah, but you end up dying alone. Like the computer programs aren't going to show up to your funeral.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I do like the little subtle throwbacks that we do here with Grandpa, with his greediness and wanting money and stuff all the time, which is kind of nice. Like we haven't really seen a whole lot of Grandpa trying to scheme to get more money and all that, so it was kind of cool to see.
Howard was fantastic in this.
Oh yeah, easily.
Just amazing. And kudos to the rest of the cast too. Just you really got to see their range in this one.
Yeah.
Do you want to do your final thoughts first, since I went last time? I think.
Final thoughts. Tivis should not tell me what to cut from the podcast. I am the producer.
That is true. I can only offer my advice.
Look, of all the things I've said, that is not the worst thing I've ever said on this show.
No, no, it's not.
Um, no, so like final thoughts. I mean, I enjoyed this episode. So full transparency, I actually have never watched It's a Wonderful Life. I under
Seriously.
I know the story of it because I'm not retarded. Uh sorry, stupid. I'm not I know the story. I've been alive long enough to understand the story of It's a Wonderful Life, but I've never watched the actual film itself. I'm surprised
Dude,
they
you
actually
gotta put
haven't
it on your.
remade it.
You gotta put. I'm shocked about that too. Miracle on 34th Street got a remake, and I love both of them. So,
Maybe
but
they just don't want
actually,
people
Miracle
to
on 34th
actually.
Street has 3 versions, I believe.
Yeah, there's a few of them, but maybe they don't want people to have thoughts like this and be like they just want everyone sad, so they're never gonna remake this because they don't want
It
people
could be.
content with.
You absolutely. If we do Operation Babel Christmas this year,
Mhm,
I'm putting that on the list. You need to watch that, dude. You, it's a good one.
m'kay. Now, don't get me wrong, it might have been on when I was a kid, but I don't remember it at all. So
I wish
I'm
they would
just
marathon that
saying
instead of.
transparency, I've never seen it.
I, I wish they would marathon that instead of Christmas Story. Honestly,
Well, isn't Scrooge basically the same thing? Or like a night
similar concept.
what's the other one? Um Not Nightmare Before Christmas. What's the one the original Scrooge story? Crap. How am I
I'll look it
forgetting
up while
that?
you talk.
Anyways, yeah, but that's my transparency on this one. So I never saw that, but I kind of understood what was gonna happen in this.
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol, yeah. But I did like that the fact that it, because of what they were talking about within this episode, with like the not wanting to be around anymore aspect, or like I wish life was better type stuff, and feeling down on like his career and where he was in life. They did a really good job of balancing the humor aspects with it, with the
Mhm.
very serious tones that we did get in this episode. um Granted, a lot of the serious tone stuff comes from the music cues, which, I mean, that's why audio is very important in movies and
Oh,
shows.
kudos to the audio team in this episode.
Yeah, definitely. So I enjoyed all of that aspect of it, man. You being a fan of the movie, the original movie, I'm sure even liked it more so because of those reasons. But I really liked seeing the actors portraying themselves as something different, even if it was like super hyperbolic, over the top, kind of like our personalities on the show. Well, my personality on the show, it's a little more hyperbolic whenever the cameras are on. I mean, I'm still crazy in real life, but still, yeah. It's and I liked seeing the more hyperbolic versions of, and not even versions of the characters, but a hyperbolic version of a stereotype of said characters, which was kind of cool. Would have been interesting to see what Grandpa would have been like in that universe. Um, and I'm always going to assume that universe is still running in the background somewhere. Is that
Oh
how that
yeah,
works? I assume.
yeah. The multiverse.
Um, and then again, they did a full story, a great story, a great episode without leaving the house. Never once left the Munster Manor or Munster Mansion or whatever you wanna
Mhm.
call it. They never left the house, and they stayed with all the main cast except for adding in 1 guest. And you got a full episode that was coherent, it made sense, and was entertaining just with 1 guest and 1 set, and that's really cool to me. You didn't need to spend, like, so much time out of that set or anything like that. I mean, you get that with sitcoms nowadays, like, it for what little sitcoms we do get nowadays,
Mhm.
where it's, like, 1 set, and that's where the majority of the episodes take place, and that's really good when you can do a whole story on 1 set with the main cast and not have to have like a bunch of random side characters come in. Although one could argue because they are acting differently, they all are side characters too at the same time. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It really put me in a mood where I was just like, man, my life sucks too. I feel you, Herman. I feel you for real.
That's the opposite of the feeling you're supposed. Maybe you shouldn't watch this movie.
Well, as I was watching the beginning part, the intro into the dream sequence or time travel sequence, whatever you want to consider it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, all right. What about you, man?
Just all around, I enjoyed this one. The ability to give the cast the chance to portray the characters in a way they haven't before, that was
Mhm.
great. Um, the references in this, wow. I don't think we've had this many references in a long time.
Yeah.
They threw in the actor from It's a Wonderful Life, just throwing that out there. The Doctor Who reference to my favorite Doctor, for that matter. What are the odds? um, Again, the audio, fantastic. I think the dressing of the house differently was weird but effective. I'll give him that. It was effective. It made it feel different, but still their house. Howard, just complete MVP this episode, as far as I'm concerned. It's no wonder Frank really likes him, because
Yeah.
wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think
I'm struggling to find something we haven't already said, but just overall, really good episode. I love this. The message of It's a Wonderful Life. It's great no matter what form it takes.
mhm.
There's actually a horror version that I think it's a horror. It's called It's a Wonderful Knife. Maybe you'll like that version more.
I mean, there's one that recently came out. What was it called? Here, I'm gonna look it up because it is semi kind of like this.
Mhm.
It has Justin Long in it,
Mm.
and it's a horror film. What is it called here? It is. Oh yeah, it's A Wonderful Knife.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that one, yeah. And we watched that this past Christmas time, and it was fun. It was entertaining.
Mm.
Didn't have any like super deep moments in it, but you know, they do something stupid at the end, which I was like, well, that doesn't make sense, but okay, we'll
Mm.
let it go. But yeah, it was fun.
And yeah, this I feel like this a type of story like this is needed today more than ever, as depression in people continues to rise. And we're stressed out about the state of the stuff around us,
Mhm.
our lives not being how we want it to be, the fact that automation has taken over a lot of the stuff that used to distract us from these thoughts. um and
It's interesting though that the fact that we have so many outlets to distract us,
yeah.
but 50 to 80% of those distractions are what cause us to feel like this more often than not, you know? You
Yeah.
have, like, all your social like, your YouTube, your Instagrams, Facebooks, Twitters, whatever, all the other social media things out there are made to connect us and distract us at the same time, but what they're also doing is causing people to fall into these weird, like, Herman type depressions from this
Mhm.
episode, that is just like, "I wish my life was better. I wish I was more like this person or that person," and you see it a little bit. I do think the advent of allowing, uh is famous people, I guess you would say, the access to, like, your Instagrams and Twitters and stuff like that, to be able to portray themselves as more human, does help some people. They're like, oh, see, I'm not that screwed up. They do the same thing, and they're like rich, and they're still complaining. Like, you know,
Mhm.
but at the same, it's one of those, you know, catch-22 things. It's like, what are we gonna do? You know, we have
Yeah.
to, all as human beings ourselves, individuals, I should say, have to figure out the best way to go forward with the things that we have to not put ourselves into those depressions.
Yeah, and look, the simple truth and the blunt fact is life will suck. The terrible moments, they will never stop and they are going to overshadow things, and you have to not let them.
Yeah.
You need to remind yourself of, the little things, that just everyday stuff that you can take for granted, like just sitting on the couch next to your partner, or going out, sitting outside in the sunlight, letting the breeze hit you, just being alive and enjoying these sensations.
And we're only here
If you
once.
got kids, having doing stuff with them, that
Yeah.
probably stuff that aren't memorable, that you'll probably never think about unless you're in the present of doing it. Like they'll be overtaken by good memories and a lot of bad, because the
Mhm.
bad for some reason always overshadow everything else. But you have to remember the good is in between. And no matter how, my favorite quote of all time, it is always darkest before the dawn. And it's because it goes in cycles. You're going to have a wonderful time, be happy as can be, and then things are going to go wrong. And it's going to feel like there's no getting out of it, but then it's going to pick up again, and it's going to continue in this cycle. And you got to remember, the next great moment of happiness is coming up.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt about that, because they always do. Even if it's in a way you don't expect, something subtle. Uh, Last year, the Bare Naked Ladies released a new album called In Flight, and it's got a song on there called Loving Life. And I've been listening to it a
Mhm.
lot the past couple months. And it sums up basically everything I believe. Like, I'm just happy being alive, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, we're only here for a very short period of time in
Oh,
the
yeah.
aspects of things, which I guess then in those respects, when you think about it like that, for this episode anyways,
Mhm.
like, we're only here for tops, what, like 100 years tops, if we're very lucky, you know.
Yeah.
um Herman has been alive for like 400 years.
Well,
So I could
sometimes more.
understand, like, his depressions have to keep coming and going every so
Mhm.
often. um yeah. So but yeah, like, I don't know how many more times you can say it. It's just, you know, like, know who you are, know who you want to be, work for it. If you don't make it there within like the small amount of time, that doesn't mean that you're a failure, you
No, but
know.
remember, Morgan Freeman didn't become a success until he was in his, what, 50s?
Yeah, something like that, 50, 60,
Yeah.
something like
So
that.
life isn't over.
DDP didn't start his wrestling career until he was like in his mid-30s.
Yeah. So life is not over unless you just decide it is. As long as you are here and doing stuff, you can change whatever you want in your life.
Mhm. Look, Antonio
And
Banderas went
sometimes,
back to college.
yeah. And sometimes you don't need to change anything. For some reason, a lot of people today have something in their mind where they need, like, I'm here for a purpose. I need to find that purpose.
Mhm.
You're here for you. Your
Well,
purpose is yourself.
there's always gonna be that thought though in people's heads, not necessarily purpose, but finding out who they are within the world. And that's a big thing too. Especially nowadays where everyone needs to be themselves, or was it find their truth or some bullshit? I don't remember what they consider it. I don't want to say
See,
bullshit with it,
I've
but
always said
yeah,
I'm me because it's the only person I know how to be.
that's all I can be. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
I'm
you're
also
you,
Dominic
just be
Toretto
you.
too.
Anyway, we're going in a deep, deep tangent here, but
Well, no,
the
it's good.
more,
These are the
yeah.
Jerry Springer final thoughts segment
um
where we get to have a crazy episode, but then give some weird, like, afterlife stuff. uh,
I should
yeah.
have put that up when you said that stupid shit. Yeah, no, I really enjoy the message of this specifically, and it's one that I think people definitely need to hear.
Yeah.
Because
Especially nowadays. Not, I mean, the sad thing is this has been the storyline for decades. Before the original movie, I feel they were telling these stories. I mean, like the Christmas Carol was telling that story way back in the day too, before. So
yeah,
it's not like it's a new story or new like truth to be found. It's something that in human nature we need to adapt
yeah,
it into ourselves, and not like I don't want to tell people to be content with their lives, because
wow.
being content can always lead to, you know, more depression sometimes, to be honest. Be like, I'm fine with whatever.
Seize the day, carpe diem.
Just be just be happy with the things you have while
Mhm.
working for the new things that you want in your life.
Yes, exactly. And remember the connections you've made in your life too.
Unless you're in a
'Cause you,
toxic relationship, don't be happy with that.
oh God, no, get the hell out of that. And
I
if
just
you're
say that.
causing
I
a
just say
toxic
that.
relationship, stop being a dick. But yeah, remember the connections you made in your life too, because even people that you don't speak to that often, like I have a good buddy that I haven't spoken to in months, but I I know we're still good friends. So, uh,
We've talked, Tivis. We got over that battle.
no, it's
We're
not you.
fine. No.
No, I'm talking. One of my board game buddies. We used to do stuff all the time before the pandemic. And then
Yeah.
he got married, and we moved far apart. And yeah, so
It
but anyway,
happens, and that's the
yeah.
thing that happens in life too, so that
But those connections
we
are
all get
still there.
older. Yeah,
Yeah. Know
definitely.
that people will always be there.
Yeah,
Um, it's and again, it may not always be the people you expect it to be or that it should be, but there will be people always
or
in some way,
monsters.
or monsters. Hell, yeah, even fictional people can be there for you. Scrubs, I say this all the
Yeah,
time. It is
I
my
don't
happy
even
place.
I've tried explaining that to people too sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, I'm just in that point where, like, and it's messed up to say, but it's like I have some friends that want to I'm only their friend, quote unquote friend, sometimes when they need something,
Mhm.
when it's beneficial for them, when they need to talk about stuff, which is good. I'd love to be there for my friends, but at the same time, I don't feel I can bring that back to them. Like if I had an issue, I wouldn't be able to come to that person because they would try and make it all about themselves anyways, or get annoyed and stuff like that. Anyways, where was I going with this? What did you say?
That fictional characters can
Yes.
be there for you
So
too.
so so lately, like I was walking around the store the other day, and I was kind of like thinking, I was like, sometimes I kind of feel like Jim Carrey and the Cable Guy, where it's like the movies and TV show characters are like the things that can like they make me feel the best sometimes. Not all the time because I am married. My wife makes me feel good and everything too. Yes, I love her, blah 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 blah. Because
Also
that's
the
how
kids.
because that's how you want to say that, right? Blah 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 blah.
Don't forget the
But
kids.
yeah, and the kids sometimes when I'm not yelling at them and blah 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 blah. But yeah, no, I found that to be the thing. It's like watching the Munsters has made me feel better. Like whenever I watch an episode, yes, I'm watching it because we're talking about it. We have to watch these episodes to talk about. But I'm not only watching it as like, oh my God, I need to get this watched so that we can talk about it and do this stuff, because it's not like we make any money doing this anyways.
Oh
We're
God, no,
doing
we
it for the
lose money
fun of
doing
it.
this.
Yeah. So we're doing it for the fun of it. We're doing it to talk with each other about a product that
Mhm.
we both have found to love together, especially as we're watching new stuff, Munsters related, that we've never seen before.
Mhm.
I think the original series was the only stuff that we had seen prior, and not even like all the way like we have done before or did
Here
already.
Come the Munsters I've seen.
Okay. That was the
The
90s
first 90s
movie, right?
reboot, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I might have seen a movie as a kid, but I didn't remember any of those damn movies, especially that
No, I
Christmas
was so
movie.
young, I confused it with the original show, so
Yeah. I so the other day I was talking about them and I started confusing the Christmas movie with Pee-wee's Christmas.
oh, no.
Because I watched them both back to back when we watched the Christmas movie. So I was like confusing them. I was like, wait a minute,
Pee-wee with
that's not
leather
right.
bikers.
Yeah. I was like, that's not right. Is it? And they're looking at me and they're like, because they had only seen the Pee-wee one.
Mhm.
And they're like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I don't know anymore, dude. Like, I don't know. But I love it. I love talking about the Munsters with you. I love watching the Munsters. I love watching TV stuff in general. I'm not
Mhm.
watching as much as I used to before. Now I'm trying to focus more on things that I know make me feel better as a person. There are going to be new things that I will watch, but I'm trying to focus on making myself feel better about things that I want to watch rather than
You
trying to watch
finish
every
Legends of
new
Tomorrow.
thing. Yeah, I'll watch it. I'm waiting, man. They might get picked back up. You don't know.
We can hope.
Stop trying to hurt my feelings. So, eh, end all thing to say to you guys about this, and then we'll move on with the rest of this. You know, just be happy. Do you do what's going to
Mhm.
make you happy, unless it's going to hurt someone else, of course.
Yeah,
And
don't do anything illegal.
yeah, and just enjoy life. Like, we're only here one time. Unless for
No.
some reason we get some science stuff that makes it so we can put our brains in computers, and then are we really ourselves? Because then it's like they could reprogram it
Okay,
and
now
all this
you're
other
getting
stuff.
into that whole boat thing.
Is that a thing for real?
Yeah, it's another
Oh,
philosophy thing.
yeah. Okay. Anyways, what are we talking about next week, Tivis?
Next week we have The Eyes Have It.
Oh, wait, are we doing? Hold on. What is? Give me one sec. Let me double
Oh
check.
shit, yeah, is Easter coming up?
So next week is actually going to be Easter week. So we won't be airing an episode. So the Eyes Have It will be the week after for you
Yeah.
guys, which will be April 7th. That's when we will come back with a new episode for you guys. We're taking Easter off from uploading and all that fun
We
stuff.
record on the weekends now and our families will kill us.
Yeah, definitely. So and we might, I don't even know if I'm gonna be in town, so
Yeah.
but yeah, so like we said, like a week or so ago when we first came back, there's gonna be a couple days here and there for some of the holidays that we'll probably take off.
Yeah.
That day, maybe Mother's Day week, depending on when it
Father's
falls,
Day.
Father's Day, just and also even if it's like, yeah, some of those days. But next time we come back, we will be watching The Eyes Have It. If you are on our Discord through Patreon, this episode will be uploaded already for you guys. So you'll have 2 weeks to watch it before we talk about it for you. Right? 2 weeks? A week? Yeah, 2
Oh,
weeks.
I don't know when you
Basically,
upload.
basically 2 weeks. We upload on Mondays. So it'd be, yeah.
Do you have a guess for what it's about?
The Eyes Have It. I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, this is the
Somebody.
confusing title.
Ooh, my mic just broke off of there. I'm gonna have to fix
I
that.
was gonna say it's very loose.
Yeah, it's not connected at all. The only thing that's holding it right now is the cable. That's not good. Um, so the Eyes Have It. I'm gonna assume it's something with do with Maryland.
Ooh, that's a good guess. I was gonna say Eddie's love life, but we haven't had a Maryland love life story
Right. Not
since
lately.
the neighbor moved away.
Yeah. And we haven't had, I don't think we're getting dude back, are we?
It does not seem like it,
Did her
no.
neighbor move away? Was that supposed to be her boyfriend that moved away?
Well, we just got those new neighbors, and it looked like that was gonna be the house that
But
They were in.
that house should be up for sale too, because you know she killed that husband, right? Like, like there's.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so the eyes have it. That will be the next episode we do, guys, coming back the week after Easter week. So definitely tune in for that. In the meantime, you can always go back, watch our backlog or listen to our backlog, anything like that. There's again on the youtube.com/at the MunsterCast. There are videos there too that aren't the podcast. I think we did one commentary video, like watch, like reaction, I guess you would say, of one of the original Frankenstein movies.
Yeah, that
Um,
was cool.
we might be doing some more stuff like that just to have some extra stuff for you guys on there on YouTube uh and everything. So definitely continually check back onto the YouTube channel. There are specific playlists, I believe it is, like seasons 1 through whatever, but there is like everything as well too. So but also go back if you want to check out and see how much maybe the aesthetic of the show or personalities of us have changed, or how we have potentially grown into liking the Munsters more. Go back and rewatch some of the original episodes of the Munster Cast, where you go back and see like season 1 where we
Yeah.
talked about the original Munsters.
Watch the gradual evolution of me not happy Rob Zombie's doing the movie to becoming excited to finally watching it.
Yeah, definitely. So again, guys, the eyes have it is our next episode. And Tivis, do you have any final words, dude?
I hope you enjoyed this extra long episode before our week off.
Hey, it works out because they don't have a week of us, and then they got our Jerry Springer final thoughts moment too,
And a
where we
lot of
just got.
tangents this week.
Yeah, definitely. For me being so tired, that's probably why. My brain's still in kind of like semi dream mode, so it's like popping in and out of random things. Anyways, all right, guys. With that all said, we thank you very much, and we will catch y'all next time as we take another stroll down 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
The lesson I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, or fat or thin, or ugly, or handsome, like your father. Or you can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character.